Welcome. My name is Jeff Harrison with Swing Point Media, and I'm really excited today to share with you a really neat process that we have. We are a digital video marketing firm, and we help clients like you, specifically in the restaurant niche, get more people to come into your restaurants. And we have a program we want to share with you today called the Happy Birthday Program. And it's something that we know that two things people have no matter what. They have to eat, and they have a birthday every year. So I want to get into this and show it to you. It takes about 20-25 minutes. I'm going to be very specific, and if you have any questions, please make sure to just send me an email, and let's dive in. So the first thing we're going to do is let's get to the page, and I'm just going to pull up my my Facebook page, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go down over on the left side, and it says Ads Manager. We're going to click on Ads Manager. And then in the top right, it's going to have a spot over there. It says right up here in the top right, create ad. So we're going to create an ad. We're going to say we're going to start over. We had one we were working on earlier, so we're going to start over with something. And what we're going to do is if you notice here in the middle of the page, it says awareness, consideration, and conversion. In the world of marketing and sales, I mean, that's what we're talking about. There's 3 steps to making a decision. There's awareness stage, consideration, and conversion. Awareness is people that are saying, hey, I just want to get my brand out there. If we think about something here in the local Coachella Valley area, it might be the general. You know, he's on all the time. Brand awareness. He's not even really sometimes selling anything, even though sometimes he attaches an ad to it, but it's just brand awareness, and they're trying to extend their reach. When we talk about consideration, we're now talking to a group of people of, hey, they understand who you are. Now they're considering making a decision. This is where we want to go. And what we're looking for in this specific campaign, and I'll talk about this as a campaign, it's an ad campaign, we're talking about traffic. So we're going to choose traffic. And then we're going to come down here right away and we're going to name it. So we're going to call it the Happy Birthday Sample. Okay, and then let's continue. So now we've named it, and now we're going to come down here. We're going to skip this here where it says ad set name. We're going to, because that'll change here in a little bit. But we're going to talk about the website or messenger. We're going to stay where our traffic. We want to run them to a website, or let's call it a URL. Okay. Then we're going to come down and we're going to start deciding, hey, who do we want to offer this to? Well, the first thing we want to do is, because this is a brand new campaign, we don't have an audience, so we're going to have to build an audience. And there are several ways we can do it. We can do it by location is the first thing. So we have to say, well, we're going to do it by city, we're going to do it by state, we're going to do it by zip code, we're going to do it by an address. And what we're going to do in this situation, we're actually going to put an address in. So I'm going to use an example of a restaurant in Palm Desert called El Corso, and I'm just going to put their address in there. And now it comes up with the address. And if you notice what happened, it puts a circle around that. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Puts a little circle around that and says, well, in that situation, how far of a radius do you want me to advertise to? So what we're going to do is we're going to say, if you notice right here, it says 10 miles. When we put a specific address in there, we can go in from a mile away to 50 miles away. So if you're a retail store and you probably know, hey, within a 1 mile radius, that's my traffic, that's my market. But in some cases, you might be a certain type of, maybe a vet, and you're within 50 mile radius, depends on where you are. So you can choose that. In this case, let's do 10 miles. Okay, so within 10 miles, and you can see that circle, we're going to speak to or show this ad that we're going to create to those people. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to decide on the age of people. Well, if you think about the type of people we're dealing with, we're talking about a mid to upper range restaurants. And we're talking about people that come out and celebrate their birthday with their friends and their family. So we found that typically that age group is over the age of 30. So we're looking at 35 and above. And we also know, yes, and my wife would tell me this, that our wives, the women, are the ones that tend to plan these events. So we're going to target it to women. When it comes to language, not such a big deal unless your specific type of restaurant or your business deals with certain language of people. We have one client, he has a Chinese group of people that he communicates with, so we might put Chinese up there, and it'll find people that speak Chinese. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to say, well, let's start talking about who we want to talk to. And if we click in here, you'll see it comes down with demographics, interest and behaviors, and more categories. So if we go to demographics, it's going to ask us things like education, financial, generation, home, life events, parents, politics. Yeah, we can get into politics, relationship, works, interest, or excuse me, work. So what we're going to do is we might say, well, let's look at their financial. And we'll say, let's look at net worth. And we can do a lot of these. This is just an example. So we're going to do, let's say their net worth is between 1 and 2 million. And you can put several in there. Let's say 200 to 500,000 and 500 to 750. So that's for our net worth. Okay. And we'll come back here and we'll say, all right, let's go back here to browse. Let's pull down the demographics again. And maybe we want to look at home. Their home ownership. Are they homeowners? Are they renters? What kind of homes do they have? So let's say they are homeowners. And then we'll go back here and we'll say, when we go back to homeowners, if you'll notice something here, it'll say home type. Home type. So maybe we want to say, do they live in apartment, condo, home value? Well, how about that? How about they live in homes over a certain price range? Okay, so maybe they live in that home between $500,000 and $699,000, or we want to have $700,000 to $99,000. So in other words, it kind of matches that net worth income we're talking about. Okay, what else we want to look at here? Let's browse. Let's look at interest. Business and industry, entertainment, family relationship, fitness and wellness, food and drink. Well, gosh, I think we'd want to look at food and drink. So let's say cuisine. And depending on your restaurant, we might look and say, maybe it's an Italian. Well, this is El Corso, so we're going to pull up Italian cuisine, people who like to eat Italian cuisine. We'll also look at, let's see, let's put food in there. And they have interest in food. And we're in a golf community, so we're going to put golf and tennis. So we'll put golf and tennis. That's an interest that they have. And if you notice here on the right side, it starts changing these numbers. Okay, we now have about 84,000 people who so far have these traits that we've put in there, which means on a daily basis there are somewhere between 22 and 6,400 people, meaning when our offer goes out, 22 to 110 people would probably click on our offer, or likely to click on our offer. Okay, but now that's probably too broad. It's just too broad. We're going to narrow that down just here in a little bit. Okay, so now let's see what else we have in here. Behaviors. Okay, is it an anniversary? No, probably not. We're going to talk about birthday. What about a type of a car that they drive? Maybe they have new vehicle shoppers, they're owners. And look at this, you can look in make. So maybe they drive a BMW. Yeah, that's right. We can narrow it down by the type of car they drive. They have an Audi. Let's see. They probably drive a Jaguar, maybe an Infiniti. Maybe they have a Land Rover, maybe a Lexus. Where's our Mercedes? There's Mercedes, Porsche. So you can kind of get the idea here. Maybe a Volvo. Okay. Vehicle age. How about that? Maybe 2 years old, 0 to 1 year old. You can put a couple in there. So it's a fairly new car. We'll go back here to browse. So you can kind of get an idea. So it starts to narrow it down here a little bit. Now this is too big of an audience, believe it or not. So we want to bring it down a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here where it says narrow the audience. Okay, so we're going to narrow the audience. What we're going to do is we're going to go to interest, and we're going to, oh, excuse me, not interest. Let's go to behaviors. And we're going to go to events, life events, and we're going to say birthday. And we're going to do a birthday month, and we're going to go through, we're doing this in June, or excuse me, in May, so we're saying let's go out in advance. We're going to do this for June. And so we're looking for people who have birthdays in June. You can see all of a sudden that number changed. So now we have about 6,000 people that we can talk to. In other words, about 650 to 1,600 people a day will see the ad. They'll get served up this ad, and that's how far it'll reach out. And we'll get somewhere between 9 and 58 people clicking on that ad. That's a pretty good go of that. Okay, so I'd say I'd stop right there. Let's go on. Now, where we're going to place this, we're going to say let's edit the placements, because we don't want it to go out everywhere, and I'll show you why here in a second. All ads should not, one size doesn't fit all. We would have to create a specific ad for Instagram. Our goal is to do this on Facebook. So we're going to take Instagram off, and we're also going to do Audience Network. Now, just so you know, Audience Network are those relationships that Facebook has with a lot of other advertisers out there, and they say, hey, if somebody says Audience Network, can we put your those ads on your website, on your Facebook page, things of that nature. We really don't have much control of that, so we really don't want to put our money in that. We're also going to click here on Facebook and say we don't want to go on Instant Articles, and we don't want to go on the right side. This over here on the right side, we've all seen this on the right side. We're going to take that off. We're only going to go in the feed. Okay, that's the only place we're going to go on Facebook. All right. Down here, we're going to talk about a budget. Now, you have two options. You can do a daily budget, or you can do a lifetime budget. And what we want to do is we want to do a lifetime budget. Let me just adjust my camera just a little bit there. There we go. We want to have a lifetime budget. And I'm going to show you why that's better here in a second. With a lifetime budget, and let's say we spend an average of $10 a day, and then we're going to do it for 31 days, so let's go $310. When we do a lifetime budget, we can set a very specific schedule. Now, in this case, we're going to say we want to put the ad in front of people before their birthdays come up so they have time to plan. So let's start this on the 22nd of May, and then we're also going to end about the 22nd of June, because by that time people have probably made their plans, getting all their friends together. So we're going to end that particular month. Now, it doesn't mean we wouldn't start now advertising for people in July for their birthdays and just keep this going, because this is one of those things. We got to eat, we got to have birthdays, and we love to celebrate. So no matter what time of year it is, that we're going to have those type of celebrations. Okay, so now we're going to show advanced options, and we're going to do what we call link clicks. And what that means is you're only going to get charged if someone clicks on the link, and your link is going to be for downloading a coupon that says something like, hey, you get a free dinner up to X number of dollars when you bring guests in for your birthday dinner. Okay, so we're going to say link clicks, and then we're going to bid automatically. And how you get charged, again, link clicks. And now here's where it says ad scheduling. We're going to actually run the ads on a schedule. Now notice you get a little chart here, and you may say, well, between 12 and 6 a.m., not many people are looking at my ads, so there's no reason to run them overnight. So I'm just going to click on here. Everything I highlight is going to be scheduled to run. So it's going to run from 6 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night. And actually, we're going to take that off. We're going to say till 10 o'clock at night. Okay? Because by that time, let's face it, 35 and older, we're probably in bed catching some Z's and getting ready for an early morning. Okay, so now we can schedule that. So the next thing we're going to do is we're now going to say, okay, we've got that set up. Now you have another option down here, and it's called accelerated. So if you had a very short time window, let's say you only had 7 days to get this information out, you can say, hey, let's get the ads out there as quickly as we can to that audience. We're going to use standard, so it's just going to roll that out. And we're going to hit continue. And this is where we're going to now say, hey, what page do you want to put on? In this case, we don't have El Corso as a client, so we're just going to put on one of our pages we own, My City Business Review. And then the next thing is, hey, what format are we going to do? Pictures in a carousel, so it's 2 or more. You can actually put a video in there, but you can put 2 or more on there, and you've seen it where it slides across. A single image or a slideshow. And then the next option would be single video. We recommend video, and here's a big reason. Video it is the #1 driver of making decisions. People love video. 1 billion views a day on YouTube, 1 billion views a day on Facebook. Video is where it's at. We also consume it much faster. In other words, when I see a video over text, I can understand it and comprehend it 60,000 times faster. We love video. So we're going to have a 30-second video in there, so we're going to choose a video ad. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to come down and say, okay, well, let's upload that video. Now you can upload that video right from your computer, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to pull this up, and I have a little example in here. Just one we shot for our client. We also do aerial video. We do drone work. So we were up in Lake Arrowhead and we did some video work. So as that's uploading, let's go on down here and let's finish this up. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to say, well, we're going to go to a website. So what we're going to do is we're going to, I put a little note in here earlier. So we're going to say, all right. So we're going to say, this is our page we're going to go to. And this is actually our link. Excuse me a second. Let me just grab that link. And we're going to put that right in there. Okay. And then are we going to send this out as a text message? No. Structured message? No. We're just going to send it out through the news feed. Okay. We're going to title this. Now, here's what's interesting. It says headline and then text. Think of the headline. We normally have it on the top, right? Well, in this case, it's actually going to be, as this populates, you'll see it's in a different location. It's actually, the headline is below the ad. So we have a little bit of copy here, is because, and there's not a lot of copy that goes in there. And we're going to put that right in here. And it says download free birthday coupon. Remember I said they're going to download, so we're going to change this right down here. This is what we call our call to action button. So we're going to say download. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the text in there. And again, I wrote that up earlier, so we don't have to watch me do this. I'm going to copy that. And this is probably the most important portion of the ad beyond the video. And if you notice as I put this in here, it says, attention, June birthdays. We have a super special offer just for you and your closest friends. And then there's a link in there. That link takes them to the page I'll show you here in a second about your offer. If they click on that link, guess what? They still get taken your offer, but Facebook doesn't charge you for it because they didn't hit the donate button. Okay? So come celebrate your birthday with us, and your dinner is free, which is up to a $50 value. So there's a cap on there. Enjoy dining and a party, except it's your birthday, and we will do the dishes and all the cooking. Click the link and download your coupon now. And then there's that link again. Okay, so here it comes. It's populating. Just make sure it says right up here. As we're doing this, now that the video's in there, you see there's the video, and then there's also some thumbnails. You can also upload a custom thumbnail. In this case, we'd probably go ahead and take a picture, or have you take a picture of your restaurant when it's full, when it looks like there's a party in there, and we put that right in there. We put some kind of writing on it to make sure that it stands out. It just pops off the page. Okay, so that's where the video is. And took too long to respond. See if it'll reload. And what this is doing is it's just giving us a preview. As soon as it's uploaded. Still trying to load that up. It's still spinning up on the top left there. So what would happen is you have your ad there, and it has this information in it. There we go. Okay, so now what we have is we have a preview of what your ad looks like. Now, if you notice, it says mobile news feeds. Because about 70% of people now get all their information off their mobile devices, you want to see what that looks like to make sure it all fits on there, and you can see it fits nicely. Or as an example, if you want to say, okay, well, let's look what it looks like on a desktop feed. Has a totally different look because it's filling up the page. So that's why a lot of times we'll look at mobile news feed. How does it look? And it fits up in there. So you can see here's our attention. That's our text information, our links in there, and then also our download free coupon, and there's our download page. So now when somebody clicks on that, this is what happens. They are taken to this page, and this is specifically for El Corso. Happy birthday from the staff at El Corso. Click below to receive your free birthday dinner. Good for a month around your birthday. So in other words, now it allows me to say, hey, I'm going to have a birthday party at El Corso. I'm going to invite my friends, and it's good for any time of that month. If I said, send my free dinner, this is what happens. You get a thank you. It submits that. And then here you go. Thank you. Check your inbox for your birthday dinner, gift certificate. Or call now, reserve a table for reservations of 6 or more, and you'll receive a complimentary 6-inch birthday cake. Okay, so how cool is that? So if they call right now, they'll also get a 6-inch birthday cake, which is provided. Okay, the reason we do that is because so many people leave money on the table in the thank you. They don't do anything to upsell people or to get them to take action now. So they have to call now to reserve that table to get that 6-inch birthday cake. Okay, so let's go back to this. So if we like all that, we say, hey, let's take a look at it. Let's preview our order. So it says happy birthday sample. It's a traffic campaign. There's our age group in El Paseo, the address. There's our address there. It's a Facebook feed only. There's our lifetime spend of $310. It's on link clicks. It's automatic. Again, here's an example of our ad. We love that, and we say, hey, we're ready to go. Okay, so this is all set, and we're happy as a clam. And the way this works is, what we'd like to do is say, hey, if you like this and you want to do this yourself, now you have the step-by-step on how to do it. That was our goal today. If you say, hey, I like this, but this is probably not my bailiwick, I'm better at putting together, parties and making sure that our guests are happy, then this is how we do this. You just have us do that. This is the deal. If you have a video, we'd recommend that you have one. Then it's just our fee is $7.50 a month plus ad spend, and we said it's about $10 a day or about $300 a month, and so it's $1,050 to have this done every month. Just to give you an idea of the return on this, a friend of mine named James, he does this in Texas at his advertising agency, and he did this for a client, and they spent $250. They got 40 people to click through and book for reservations, and in those 40, that meant a $5,000 ROI on that $250, $5,000 of the business. This was in about a 48-hour period. So I'm not saying that's going to happen for you, but here's the cool thing about this. Unlike regular advertising that you might see, what I call traditional advertising, TV, radio, newsprint, first of all, you have to pay for in advance. The second thing is, once it's out there, it's out there. It's not going to get changed very easily. In this, it's very dynamic, and I want to give you an example of how dynamic it is. So what if I said, hey, download your free birthday certificate. Maybe we found that the word certificate, maybe it converted better. We can change that in an instant, and there's the change, okay? So what we'll do is, during that month, what our mission is we are optimizing and managing this ad to make sure it works. So we're watching on a daily basis, and typically what happens is we get a really good feel after about the first $30 that gets spent. How are we doing? And then we can start changing things. We might need to say, hey, attention Palm Desert residents, right? June birthdays. It may need to say something of that nature. But what we'll do is we start changing just a little bit and testing it, change it and test it every 2 or 3 days, and then it just optimizes. But the cool part about this is once we optimize it, guess what? It's good for July and August and September, every month, month in and month out. If you'd like to do this, please get a hold of me. We work with restaurants that have a video. If you don't have a video, we're more than happy to make that for you because we are a digital video marketing agency, so we can make that video for you. It's just a one-time fee of $4.95. Our goal is to help you, like all our customers, they pay us to help them get leads and new customers from this type of advertising. Again, my name is Jeff Harrison. I'm so happy you joined me. I hope you have that you found this valuable, and I look forward to hearing from you. Just hit the return or reply button on there and say, hey, and give me your name and what restaurant you're from and your phone number, and I'll be more than happy to reach out to you and either give you more information or schedule a time for us to start taking care of your happy birthday parties. Thank you so much again. We'll see you next time.